Welcome to an introduction to HeartBrand's Akaushi program. Joining me now in studio is Jordan Beeman, president of HeartBrand Beef, Ronald Beeman, chairman of HeartBrand, and JoJo Carrales, vice president of operations. Gentlemen, thank you guys all for being here with us.
Thank you.
Let's jump right into it. Let's talk about Akaushi and the breed and the origin. Jordan, you want to talk about the breed itself?
Yeah, so Akaushi is a unique breed of cattle. Originally came over from Japan in 1994. It's one of the specific types of Wagyu, and Akaushi, above all, is known for its carcass quality, and that's what really brought us excited about the breed, is just how it's able to pass that carcass merit onto its offspring, and that's what led us to create such a high-quality branded beef program off of these cattle, passing that ability to marble onto their offspring.
Well, I said we were talking and we were visiting, Ronald. One of the things that really struck me was your passion for Akaushi and what you guys are doing.
I'll tell you, the first time that we saw Akaushi cattle, we got involved in 1998 with the cattle. And, looking at cattle, we didn't have a clue what they were, but the gentleman that had them said these were unbelievable cattle and said, well, we'll certainly do our part. We were a service provider at that time. And what was amazing when we saw the first cattle, when the hide came off and those carcasses were hanging, the immense marbling in those cattle was off the charts. The other thing that we really noticed that was something was the yield grade on the cattle. They had very little exterior fat, basically all yield grade type 2 cattle. So to see that highly marbled breed of cattle with very little exterior back fat was amazing. But that wasn't the final part. The other part was when you got to taste the product. When you eat Akaushi beef, it is the most amazing beef eating experience you'll ever have. The fatty acid composition in this beef just creates a tremendous beef eating experience.
Well, and you kind of touched on a little bit on your background in the industry, but talk about your vision and how it kind of started in 1999 for Akaushi and what you guys are growing and doing within that.
Yes, we, as I said, when we first saw the cattle and when we harvested the cattle, we were a service provider at that time, and they're doing a lot of research work with all types of breed, crossing Akaushi with Brahman cattle, Hereford, Angus, Charolais, and we had a USDA meat grader in the plant grading these cattle, and it didn't matter what breed it was. When the hide came off, the quality of that beef, if you were getting select and choice, you were seeing choice and prime, was amazing, and the uniformity that Akaushi put into every one of these breeds. And we also noticed as the meat grader, didn't matter which breed, the yield grade on these cattle also improved. If you were getting 3s and 4s, you were getting yield grade 2s and 3s. So not only improving carcass quality, but yield grade, and they were doing research work. So the best part was they were just taking a small portion of the ribeye for their research, and we bought the rest of the carcass, and we got to enjoy that beef. And just the half-blood Akaushi, the first cross, the quality of the beef was amazing, and we gave that beef to our friends, and being in the meat business, to some other restaurant owners that tried it, and their answer was, how do I get more of it? And the comment I've had more people tell me is that we've ruined their beef eating experience. And say, what do you mean? He said that if we go to a restaurant, if it's not Akaushi beef, he said, I'll get fish or chicken. So our goal has always been is how can we improve the beef industry? And we think that Akaushi can do that from conception all the way to the consumer, that it's a win-win all the way. And when you get a consumer coming back and asking for your product, that's going to do nothing but help grow the entire beef industry.
What is that growth that you've seen?
Yeah, it's been big. So back in 2006, we're killing 10 or 15 head a week, and now up to about 400 on most weeks. So the growth has been awesome. It's been because of these Akaushi bulls work. You put them out on commercial cows, they breed cows, they make really nice functional half-blood cattle that grow and feed really well. And I think what's so awesome is that these bulls produce marbling the best of any other breed out there without giving the least amount up, without giving up growth traits, without giving up good feet and legs, reproductive soundness. So when you use the Akaushi bulls on whatever cow base it is, they work and create really good functional cattle. And that's what has allowed us to be able to keep selling more bulls every year and keep selling more beef.
Those are both great attributes to have, right? JoJo, let's talk about the evolution of HeartBrand and selling bulls, kind of as Jordan just talked about, when we look at from 2009 to now and what that is changing to look like.
Yeah, so when you look at the importation of the Akaushi cattle in the mid-90s, they were able to grow the population quite a bit, use a lot of embryo transfer technology to grow the herd to a pretty good cow herd, about 3,000 mother cows back in 2006, 2009 area. So the evolution that me and my cattle team have tried to make these Akaushi bulls customer friendly to commercial bull buyers, and in terms of phenotype, basic build, growth. They have to be able to perform just as good, if not better, to the bulls that they're buying now. So we know a lot of the other good seed stock producers are doing a tremendous job, and we have to be along par in terms of weaning weights, in terms of what they want their bulls to do, go out and breed cows, maintain their condition, be extremely fertile. So that has been our goal when we first started. 2009 is when I started with HeartBrand. We were selling very little bulls. That was kind of just the start of getting some semen and some bulls out there to commercial cattlemen. And being able to see the evolution of being able to make these Akaushi bulls perform and get the feedback from the commercial bull buyers. I mean, they're going to tell you if that bull's doing what he needs to be doing and not, and to be able to maintain that weaning weight and be able to get a higher profitability and more marketing versatility on the offspring is what we were getting that they were wanting to accomplish. So they wanted to improve the beef quality, but they did not want to give up weaning weight, growth, the amount of calves born alive. So that has been our goal as a cattle team, to not sacrifice marbling, but be able to make these Akaushi cattle functional and productive in that commercial environment. So as we started selling some bulls back in 2009, very few, maybe 15 or 20, 30 bulls that first season, to the last 4 years, we've been able to sell 500 bulls and about 500 females a year, which is very fortunate to put us, in the top seed stock producers in the United States. And that's due to the fact that the bulls have worked in many different environments. So not only do we sell bulls overseas, but all the 500 bulls that we sell in the United States per year, I mean, they're going from Florida to Montana, a lot out on the West Coast, and of course quite a bit here in Texas. So we get a lot of that good feedback that the commercial bulls are working in many different environments, many different cow bases, the seasons that they prefer to breed on. So that has been our goal every season, to try to make more productive Akaushi cattle.
Well, that's a great point that you bring up, and getting that feedback from those commercial producers. And one of the things that we were talking about before that really resonates with the commercial cattlemen is data. And you guys have the data to back up and what you're talking about. So JoJo, why don't you talk to us a little bit about the USDA and the grade reports that you guys have, and also the feedlot performance.
So one of the biggest benefits of looking at Akaushi, in addition to your program, is the facts that we bring to the table. And we also know that the Akaushi beef tastes better. We know that for a fact. But the customer bull buyers, they want facts, like you say. So we not only custom harvest our product and box it and sell the product, but we're able to get it USDA graded, third-party graded, and we have the data over the last 175,000 head that we've killed and USDA graded. We're over 55% USDA prime with less than 2% selected no-roll. And that is on a all-natural, no implant program, so in perspective of what it is, and also around 1,400 to 1,500 pound live weight. So those are on Akaushi half-bloods that are fed out. Our average daily gain is going to be about 2.8 average daily gain in the feedlot, and that's both heifers and steers on a non-implanted all-natural program. So that 55% USDA prime is a lot of times 5 to 10 times percent of the industry average. But we also know that yield grade is important, and our average yield grade on that big set of cattle is 2.8 average yield grade. So we're now able to get those camera grades and carcass specs, and we have those animals DNA verified. So we're able to take that data, bring it back to our operation, and make sure that we're not only producing growthier bulls that have more muscle and more body type to them, but that we do not step away from the trait that brought us to the table, which is intermuscular fat and consistency and tenderness. So we keep a very close eye. Jordan and I look at those carcass sheets every week, and we get that individual carcass data on every animal that goes into our program.
Well, that's very interesting. And you know, one of the things that we were talking about earlier, it doesn't matter at what phase any cattlemen in the industry are involved in, they all ultimately want the same thing, and that's to build that better end product. Talk a little bit about Akaushi and the growth that you've seen worldwide, and a lot of this is based on the facts that you guys had previously mentioned.
Well, I think as cattlemen, we got to know that our end product is what gives us many years to come. So we have to get our customer a more consistent, tender, tasty product. And of all the research that we've all done and Land Grant University has done for years, that's what the customer's wanting. They're wanting a tasty, tender product more often. And when you know the genetics that go into your program, you have a clear advantage of knowing not only the past performance, but also knowing that the Akaushi genetics clearly add more intermuscular fat to the equation. And then having an all-natural program, which that's our program specifically, doesn't mean that you have to be an all-natural program, and if you want to feed them conventional, there's a lot of producers that do that very successfully. But knowing that you're wanting to improve the beef business is kind of something that we look at as a long-term vision, and I know Jordan and Ronald have the same vision of wanting to give our industry a better product, but knowing that the commercial cattlemen are extremely tough of what they want and what they need in return.
So let's talk about the different ways that there are to market, these half-blood Akaushi crosses, and how that producer can get the most value out of what they're producing.
Yeah, I think what's great about the Akaushi is you're taking a full-blood bull, breeding it to your regular commercial cattle that's going to do better on the USDA grid. So if you raise these cattle out, feed them out, and take them to any major packer, they're still going to return more dollars because they're going to get more percent USDA prime. Their yield grades are going to be very attractive, maybe even better than plant averages, and they're also red meat yield is going to be really good. So that's what's worked so well when we sell these Akaushi bulls. I tell a customer when they're riding around the ranch in my car, I'm telling them, like, even if I can't buy this calf from you, it still has more value on the way that the United States trades cattle. It's not just Jordan saying these cattle are going to be better, they're going to be marble better. It's the USDA saying that they are going to bring more money in the commercial herd. So that what we think is a great backstop for us. No matter, even if you're too far away from Texas or you can't get your cattle back to us, they still do better on traditional grade and yield. And then also we run a branded meat program off of these cattle. So we have somewhere around 21,000 head of cattle on feed out of bulls that are just going to be like these, or out of bulls that are going to be just like the bulls that we're selling here, that where we have bought those calves back, we naturally feed them, we have them custom slaughtered and fabbed, and we sell the beef. So that's another great opportunity for producers who want to be part of a branded beef program. And then there's also many other branded beef programs who use these high marbling type genetics into their programs. So a producer is welcome to buy a bull from HeartBrand and do whatever they wish from those calves. Now, we do like to buy a lot of those back, but by no means do we have to buy those calves back from them, or does the producer have to sell them to us? We're just really trying to provide producers with a way to produce more high-quality, tasty beef.
There you go. And, let's talk about ranchers and how they have used Akaushi through, these breeding programs and genetics, and how it's helping them.
Yeah, so the way that most people add Akaushi into their already established program is they find usually a set of cows. Sometimes it's on first-time heifers. I think more than half our bulls I'd feel very comfortable going on virgin heifers. Akaushi is a low birth weight breed in general, but a lot of people will use them on some of their younger cattle and get more value out of something where they normally had maybe used to breed just to get low birth weight and sacrifice some marketing ability. So that's one way that they've used them. One of the reasons I think it's been able to grow is that you don't have to change the cow base that you're using, don't have to change your breeding season, just change the bulls, put them out. They obviously know what to do, and then being able to give it a really good comparison, apples to apples, of what that producer is seeing in terms of number of calves born alive, conception, weaning weights, and more importantly, the amount of net revenue per head. So that's the way that I think it's been able to work the best, is installing Akaushi into their already going program, and being able to realize that a full-blood Akaushi bull is not known for its just sheer growth, but having such an unrelated breed, crossing them on that cow base has really been able to not give up much weaning weight at all, if any. So that straight hybrid vigor that you'll see, plus the maternal milk of that commercial cattleman's cow base, that's where we're able to keep the growth, keep the vigor, and be able to maintain that weight on a calf, which it's definitely affecting their bottom line.
When people are talking about, we're selling yield and grade, and one thing to look at too is that when I always look at a number on USDA published reports week or daily, is the spread between just commodity, choice, and select, and we've seen that spread from right now it's roughly about $75-80 a head, but here 6 months ago, a little longer, the spread just between choice and select was around $30 a hundred, so that's over $200 a head difference. So if you're selling your cattle on a grid basis, and you can eliminate select out of it to really 1% or less on select, then you're adding a lot of value that you should be getting back from that packer also, not just on the quality grade, but the yield grade that you're going to see that's going to be an improvement also. And then what we've noticed is that the majority of these cattle are going to grade upper choice. So what that allows you is not only participating just in that choice, but if you can participate in the upper choice program plus the extra percentage of prime, the dollars that you're going to receive back from your cattle can be significant. So it's no matter what branded beef program you're in, you're going to look at a huge improvement on your yield and grade, which is going to return more profit dollars back to any rancher that's raising Akaushi cattle.
Ronald, one of the things that makes our industry so unique is that it's built on relationships. And we've talked about Akaushi and the breed and what you guys are doing there, but specifically HeartBrand and your branded beef program, and the relationships that you formed over the years with these food retailers, and what that means and how that's helped you kind of grow your program to what it is today.
That's a huge, I think, key part to the success of our program. We've been in the meat business and selling our customers for 45 plus years. For example, one account that we do a lot of business with is Kroger Retail, and we've been fortunate enough as we've done business with them for many years. They gave us the opportunities to sell beef. And as they started selling the Akaushi program, it's afforded us to sell a number of Kroger retail outlets across the country. And today, we're approximately, with our ground beef program, in over 1,200 Kroger stores right now. And hopefully that will expand to some more stores here in the near future. And then our branded beef program, of course, we don't have near the number to handle that many stores, but they take select stores where they do a fantastic job of selling the HeartBrand, our ribeye, strips, tenders, top butts, and briskets, other items through their counters. So being in the meat business and really around selling branded product for a number of years, it's been a very big key of our program to grow and expand. And of course, in food service, building business and going with restaurants is a big key. Because the key is, what we say is, people want a consistent eating experience, beef eating experience, and that's what Akaushi has done, is consistently week in and week out. We say, if you like our product today, you're going to like it next week, next month, and next year, because that's what Akaushi will do. It will give you consistency in that meat or your beef eating experience.
Thank you, gentlemen, very much for coming and being in. I've definitely enjoyed the conversation. You know, we're here ahead of your sale. April 11th, it'll be broadcast right here out of our Hudson Oaks office. Jordan, why don't you give us a little preview about what we have to look forward to?
Yeah, thank you. So with all that we've said, we welcome you to come and check out the sale on April 11th at 3 o'clock and take advantage and experience what all these other ranchers have experienced with the positive Akaushi bulls, with adding true hybrid vigor to your herd, adding marbling genetics to your herd, longevity to your bulls. So we invite you to come see what so many other ranchers have seen, why we've been able to sell 500 bulls a year for the last 4 years, and come get an Akaushi bull for yourself.
Well, and as I said, that auction will be broadcast April 11th right here from Hudson Oaks. It'll also be broadcast on Superior Productions and Live Auctions, so anyone that can't come here can also jump online and they can go to either one of those websites to find more information. Well, thank you very much. We've covered everything from Akaushi to what you guys are doing in the breed, HeartBrand, the branded beef program, your upcoming sale. So lots of exciting things coming up. If folks want more information, where can they go, JoJo, to find more information out?
Yes, ma'am. We're pretty excited about this April 11th auction. There's a few places to go to get the catalog, digital catalog, bid.superiorauctions.com. Also, Wagyu 365 is going to have a complete catalog that you can download on that, or go to heartbrandcattle.com. So come out, see a little bit more information on what we're about. We welcome you out to the ranch and welcome to see you.